Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Guy Panic Podcast. Yep. So, if you hadn't noticed, the last couple weeks I've been doing a live stream on Friday instead of the podcast, and I guess it was like more of a time convenience for me at the moment, but I'm doing the podcast then this week since I have plenty of time to do so. So, I mean, okay, if you prefer it like this or like the live stream, just tell me down in the comments. I mean, all 8 of you who watch this, that sort of thing. Anyways, yeah, it's been a cool couple weeks out here in the good old United States of America. We can just get on with it. I mean, Trump's the president now. He's now the United States president yet again. He got a Grover Cleveland out of us, and it's really funny. That inauguration was like lame. It was indoors, and I understand that like it is actually really cold, and inaugurations have been had inside like the Congress before, and it's like whatever, fine, it's fine. People were saying, "Oh, that's because this crowd size is gonna be small," and I mean, granted, it was a smaller viewed inauguration, but it is funny. It is very funny how like a lot of people were gonna fly. I mean, obviously, thousands of people were gonna fly and drive to go see Trump's inauguration in person, like out on, the Capitol Hill, whatever the fuck. Am I getting the name of the park in DC wrong? I've been there. I've played Fallout 3. Whatever, the Capitol building. Anyways. And they then figure out like a couple days ahead of time that like actually we're having it inside. So now they just, it's like there's tons of posts, people like saying like well, I just spent thousands of dollars on my hotel and plane tickets and all the other things, and now I don't even get to go do the thing I plan on going to in the first place because we have this every year at the coldest time of the year in January. Whatever. It was funny though. I mean, there's some people who just like it. The so there has been an uptick of the classic "fell for it again" award Wojak on Twitter. And while I usually dislike the use of Wojaks in every case because they're just tired and lame, I do like this one because will probably come in handy a lot. This presidency, trust me, trust me. The inauguration itself was lame. It's just some fucking stupid trite bullshit. I don't really care. I watched it. I didn't like it. Um, it is funny how Trump doesn't sound excited or energized. He just sounds tired. His voice is very low. It's not. He's out of energy, folks. He's 78 years old. He probably lives like another year or so. I mean, in my opinion, half the reason why he probably didn't have the ceremony outside, and not because he's scared of getting shot again, it's because like one bad cold could kill him. One bad, he gets sick one time, he's gone, right? I don't want to know what kind of immune system he has, right? I understand his blood is so thin that it can just like very easily squeeze by all the cholesterol, clogging up his veins. But his immune system, I don't know, folks. I don't know. Anyways, some funny shit that's happened. Vivek Ramaswamy has been fired from Doge before Doge was a thing. Before the DGE is a thing, I'm gonna call it the DGE. I know Elon calls it Doge, and Trump will call it the Department of Government Efficiency because I don't think Trump likes stupid fucking memes like that. But yeah, Vivek got fired because of that tweet he had where he called Americans fat and lazy and said we have to be more like Steve Urkel. That was insanely embarrassing. I read that whole tweet for y'all on a different episode of this. But, like, yeah, that tweet tanked his chances at being, the president's go-to efficiency man or whatever the hell. So now he's going to run for governor of, what was it, Ohio? Hang on, let me check real fast. Thank you, Internet. Sorry. Vivek, future plans. Yep, he's trying to go be governor of Ohio. I I don't think he's gonna make it. I think he just got kicked out and said, "Sayonara, buddy. You made us look bad. You made us look bad to our base," because he did. Him and Elon with like all the like H-1B visa worker stuff made a lot of right wingers very mad, and it was really funny. So I guess he was the fall guy, and I always gotta see how long Elon lasts. Albeit Elon, the same day as inauguration, did another funny, cool stunt that people did not like. So he was okay. Listen, folks, this is how insane this garbage administration is. So they had the inauguration, and then Trump went to the Capital One Center, which is like a sports arena in DC. He went there to a live audience of people who probably had to pay to get in, knowing this place, um, to sign his day one executive orders and some shit, like the stuff that he will probably be like the only stuff his administration will actually do is what he signed. If it's anything like the last presidency, folks, Trump is gonna be like real bad for like 4 months, and then it's just gonna be nothing but like embarrassing, nonchalant, stupid shit like the last one. Hopefully, he goes that route. Anyways, he went to go sign his executive orders on a stage in a stadium because that's what the president does, I guess. And then like there was like a big party. The YMs, the village people were there, and other washed up music performances were there and shit. But Elon was there to give his own speech, and he got cheers, and he said, I'm gonna do that "My Heart Goes Out to You" thing, right? And when you imagine doing "My Heart Goes Out to You" as like a gesture, right? You usually put your hand over your heart, and you like bow a bit, or you like wave the other hand, right? Or maybe if you're feeling a little adventurous, you take the hand over your heart and you like lower it, right? Or you like very level, perpendicular to your body, not like at an angle or anything, right? Like raise it out, like stretch it out, right? Anything. Instead, Elon hits us with not one, but two Sieg Heils. You can say, "Oh, it's a Roman salute. It's not a Sieg Heil. It is a Sieg Heil." If you have been on a elementary school playground, you know what a Sieg Heil is, right? He hit them with the Sieg Heil, and this was immediately after he said something about saving our civilization or some other Reddit shit. The soy right is real, and Elon just hit him with the double swastika, the double Sieg Heil. Get this fucking Afrikaner out of my country, please. The Boer Wars did not go far enough, okay? You know what the Boer Wars? That's when down in South Africa, there were a bunch of Dutch colonists, even though England was rolling into that territory, taking over, and the Dutch people there, the Afrikaners, the Boers, were like super antagonistic towards the British, colonizers, even though they're also colonizers, whatever. They had like a guerrilla war in South Africa between two different white people. It's really funny, and that's like the first recorded like instance of the use of like concentration camps, like as like a practice. Of course, there's been like concentrations of ethnic populations before and all that shit, but like that was like the first big like defining use of it by like a military force. And the second after that was after that, it was probably done by Spain next, in Cuba, but whatever. Yeah, right. Like they were ethnically rounding up the Boers, Elon's ancestors, and they didn't go far enough. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, he hit him with the Sieg Heil. A bunch of like conservatives jumped at the bit to say, actually, he's not anti-Semitic. Look, I'm Ben Shapiro, and here's him next to me at Auschwitz. He's wearing the little Jewish person hat and everything. And it's like, dog, he did that for his PR after he made his website like safe for Nazis. You can go on Twitter, 2 bad clicks, you see just actual Nazi bullshit. And it's been like signal boosted because you can pay to signal boost now on Twitter with the blue checkmark, which is what it really is. And there's just like big whole Nazi accounts with the double lightning SS bullshit, right? And Elon's fine with it, right? those accounts, I assume people mass report them all the time, and they're still there. Like Elon Musk is probably a Nazi. If you got him in a room and pointed a gun at him, he'd probably say, "Yeah, I think about the future of white children or some 14 words bullshit." Um, all because he got divorced. Not even divorced. He broke up. He wasn't married. I don't think. Pathetic. Anyways, so yeah, he hit that. The ADL. Oh my god. The Anti Defamation League. The guys who will say like you're being anti-Semitic if you even recognize Palestine as like a country, which the rest of the planet does. The ADL like got they jumped in front of the million bullets that were hitting Elon and said, "Listen, guys, he wasn't actually. It was a spur of the moment thing. It was not. He's autistic. You're being ableist. It was not his fault. He was not. He's not far right. He may hate us in our organization, and he probably would call us something really horrible on his off time behind his back. Guys, it wasn't see Kyle, and it's just embarrassing. The like the the organization that exists to combat anti-Semitism says, "Hey guys, the far right dude who hit the Heil Hitler fucking sign, yeah, he wasn't actually doing that on purpose. That was an accident. Yeah, he wasn't emboldened or anything with a big crowd full of other white dipshits. Awesome. Anyways, Trump, he did his executive orders. One of the big ones is that he wanted to rename two things. Those two things, the Gulf of Mexico, which the Gulf of Mexico is called so. It's been called so for like 500 years. It's called that by the original conquistadors who, occupied places like Cuba and Florida and Mexico. And said, well, that's Mexico. This is the Gulf next to Mexico. It's the Gulf of Mexico. Trump, of course, wants to name it the Gulf of America. Now, the Gulf of America sounds like some like freedom fries tier shit, which is what it is. If you guys don't know, and I'm not kidding when I say this, after 9/11, particularly a couple years after when we invaded Iraq for some godforsaken reason, France was very critical of our invasion of Iraq, saying, "Hey, you're invading them for no decent reason. We're not joining you, even though we're part of NATO." And in response to that, the federal government, George Bush, said, "Okay, well, from now on, or at least at the time being, every cafeteria the federal government operates, and we're encouraging everyone else to do this too, will no longer call fried wedges of potato French fries. They will now be called freedom fries." That's the real thing. Because France said, "Hey, we're not going to join your epic crusade to go kill 1 million Iraqis." So now Trump is out here literally blaming Mexico for quite literally everything wrong in the planet. And he's saying, "Okay, guys, the federal government will now recognize the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America." Just awesome. And then you're gonna see dipshits. Oh, there's gonna be so many embarrassing morons who have to get into little arguments over this. And by the way, it is in effect like I think recently I saw something where the US Coast Guard had referred to it as the Gulf of America in like an official thing instead of the Gulf of Mexico. It's embarrassing. He also so the tallest mountain in the consecutive United States, I believe, Mount Denali, Trump wants to rename it to Mount McKinley because for the longest time it was named that. But what's funny is that if you go to Mount McKinley and the areas around it, everyone calls it Denali. Denali is like the native name for it, like the Native Americans that used to live in this continent. And then he wants to name Mount McKinley again. Why? Because it's an easy thing. It's an easy win for all of his stupid followers to eat up like pig slop. What else did he do? Oh yeah, okay, so I got some things pulled up here. Some things. So okay, another thing about the inauguration is that like every rich person on the planet was there. You had Musk, you had Bezos, you had Gates. It's just you had the Meta guy. I forget his name. How am I forgetting the Facebook CEO's name? What is wrong with my stupid brain? How am I? Why do I have a platform? What is wrong with me? Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg's there, looking like a white guy who grew up in Baltimore. They're all there. Um, because they're all on board. They've all cut back on all of their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. They've cut back on all their fact checking policies. They're cutting back on essentially everything progressive that companies have been doing since around 2016. Why? Because they're emboldened to do so. Because pink capitalism was always a lie. It was always just a temporary thing. It was done because they thought, okay, well, it's popular, so we're doing it to help our business. They saw Trump won the popular vote in an election, so they thought, okay, well, whatever he's doing, it's the popular idea. So he's putting that out there. Also, because Trump's going to be very pro business, he's going to give these businesses whatever the hell they want. Anyways, yeah. So, and speaking of like DEI stuff, Costco. So Costco. There's two kinds of It's like, okay, for my non-American viewers out here, imagine like a giant grocery department store, sort of like a Walmart, right? Except imagine it was like the size of like those giant industrial warehouses where like several cargo trucks like pull in and out of, right? Imagine it's that big. You walk in, you get the world's biggest uh shopping cart you've ever seen. You go past a lovely cafeteria that serves cheap hot dogs and pizza that, even if it's not like the best quality on the planet, the price itself makes it worth it. Then you ride out and there's just literally everything on the planet is on several giant shelves on pallets, along with a giant maze of various tables covered in things like appliances, clothing, various foodstuffs. There's a gigantic row of refrigerated foods. It's it's quite simply too much, and it's awesome. I don't go there at the moment because I live by myself, so I don't need to buy that much food or anything. I need to buy things in bulk. I suffice pretty well off of just going to the grocery store normally, but if you have like a family or like a big house, it's probably the best thing on the goddamn planet, right? So, there's two of those. There's Sam's Club and then there's Costco. Sam's Club is owned by Walmart, so it's not based. Costco is its own thing, so it is based. And Costco has defended its diversity policies as every other company in the country has scaled back. So we respect Costco in this household. Um, Even though I don't use it, even though Europeans probably thought that description of a store to be very scary and frightening. Okay, we defend it. All right. Anyways, so one of the big things Trump wanted to do immediately in office is to get rid of birthright citizenship. If you don't know, it's in the Constitution that if you're born in the country physically, you are now a citizen. It's just it, plain and simple. It's been that way for centuries, and Trump wants to get rid of that. Why? Because of illegal immigration. So let's just talk about this real fast. Let's just get into this, huh? Okay. So, okay. First off, if they actually literally did deport 20 million people out of the country, that would probably be the single worst action the president has done, like economically, since ever, since forever. Actually, that would be horrifying. That's 5% of the U.S. workforce. That is not a good idea. So in my brain, I understand that they are gonna make a big show of deportations, but the cynical realpolitik part of my brain says, okay, the guys who are handling Trump, because Trump's not making these choices, folks. He's not really deciding things. Okay, he has more power. He has more power than Biden does, I assume, or has more control, but like not the same. He's not out there, calling shots on everything, right? Anyways, someone out there is telling Trump, okay, we're gonna make a big show, make it seem, make it feel, make it look like we are kicking out all the scary brown people, so our white, scared, stupid voter base can feel like we have done an amazing thing for them, and then we're gonna actually keep all the ones who we actually need for the economy, right? That's still, by the way, completely and totally horrible, unethical, crime against humanity, and he's still gonna do that. But like, what I'm trying to say here is that I don't think he's gonna deport 20 million people. If he does, that'd be insane. That would be horribly insane. You have no idea how bad that would be for the U.S. economy. That'd be awful. Anyways, so part of that is birthright citizenship. Why? Because anti-immigration nutcases endlessly complain that immigrants come to the United States, give birth on its soil, and then say, "Oh, we're stuck here." Now, does that happen? Yeah, but those people are asylum seekers. They come to the United States because they no longer want to be citizens of their old country. Even if they send money back, they aren't physically living there themselves. Um, Now, they aren't the same as refugees. Refugees still want to return. That was the case with a lot of Syrians out there in Europe, which who have surprisingly enough, I'm sorry, Europeans, you're also racist. Surprisingly enough, after Assad got kicked out, lots of Syrians left Europe because that's their entire reason for being there is to escape the horrible dictatorial regime. And it's gone now, so they went back. Oh, crazy. Anyways, so yeah, this is a good episode so far, huh? Jesus. Um. So yeah. But okay. So like people will say like, okay, so what if like someone from fucking I don't know Moldova came over to the United States and gave birth here while they're on vacation? Is that a citizen? And it's like only if like the parent. I mean, it's a gray area. I think the answer would actually be yes, but it wouldn't be recognized because like they would still be citizens and that wouldn't be under their jurisdiction. I think part of the Constitution says that it's not just being born in the U.S. but also under its jurisdiction, right? Which is like a weird legal term, I guess. But like what that essentially means is that like yeah, if you live here, is what it means. And as it turns out, illegal immigrants live in the United States. They do. They pay taxes. They have jobs. Crazy, dog. Anyways, yeah, he signed an executive order to get rid of that. But of course, uh, the U.S. district is already saying that's unconstitutional. So what's going to happen and what's going to be real damn tough is that there's going to be a constitutional court fight over birthright citizenship again. And, it'd be really crazy if the Supreme Court decided, hey, let's just get rid of it. Now, I don't know when the Supreme Court convenes again, and this would have to go up and be appealed. And you can appeal a case how many times you want. By the way, in the United States, if you have the funding and time to do so. Um. So yeah, we're gonna see. But it's based on the 14th Amendment. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough one, folks. By the way, birthright citizenship is a uniquely America's thing, not American, but America's, right? It's the same with Mexico and Canada and other countries in the Americas, North and South America. Why? Because we are the immigration countries. You come here, you work, you become American, buddy. Good on you. Your kids are Americans too now. Congrats. That's how. That's the fuck. That's the goddamn deal, right? That's what makes us better. And Trump obviously doesn't like that. Real bad. Real bad. So other things he's done. He's declared the southern border being invaded. Is it being invaded? The answer's no. The answer's shut up. The answer's it's actually all Joe Biden's fault for maintaining the war on the border nonsense. It's actually also Kamala Harris's fault for maintaining the war on the border nonsense in her campaign. It's actually insane. He's requisitioned members from the National Guard and the Individual Ready Reserve, which is like imagine the National Guard, but they don't even get paid and they don't really do anything. They're just the guys who just got out of the military but are still on contract. Um, to be, essentially act as border enforcement now, which is in no one's MOS, by the way. That's not no one in the military is trained to act as the border police because he wants to airdrop people out of the country, or at least make a show of it again. Stop all refugee arrivals starting January 27th for a 90-day review. I have a long list here. Wants to keep building border walls and fences, even though it's just a fence, by the way, and it's attack transnational criminal organizations, which is not really a scare. It doesn't matter. Like the only states that I can imagine have issues with that are the border ones, but he's saying every single state needs to combat it with a special task force, which is probably what that probably is Trump just giving cops more welfare. Because the president does actually give the police money. You'd be surprised. Make Homeland Security just have whatever the fuck powers it wants forever now. No more catch and release, which is when, if you're a legal immigrant and you're caught, you stay in the U.S. while they sort you out. He's gonna end that, and it's just you're found, you're kicked out immediately, type of deal. Build concentration camps for them with Homeland Security. You know what's funny is that like it's a classic conservative conspiracy theory that like FEMA is gonna be used to build evil camps to herd the population in for brain control, vaccine, mind virus stuff. Oh my god, I keep hitting the microphone. Christ. Trump's doing that right now with the Department of Homeland Security for illegal immigrants, and they're like, "This is great, actually. I love giving the state unfettered power. I love the big government," says Republicans. He's gonna get rid of all our climate change stuff. That's a fact. He's gonna do that. Damn, this is probably not the best content to do with his pauses and such. Anyways, yeah, it's a bunch of bad shit. It's just everything bad he's gonna do. What else happened? Oh yeah, the TikTok thing. I forgot. So, TikTok, the app, I don't use it. I've never used TikTok. I think TikTok's boring. It's dumb. It's a waste of your time. You could be spending your finite lifespan doing anything better, including watching YouTube. Because the way TikTok works is not good for your brain. I don't care if you don't watch my YouTube videos. You can have it as background noise. I don't give a shit. I mean, I assume you're getting something out of it. A TikTok video is meant to be stared at with your dumb face for 3 seconds, then swipe. Or auto feed. Garbage. Garbage. Anyways, Supreme Court had said actually the law the U.S. government passed that Republicans submitted in 2022 is actually A-OK. So that got sent through. And Supreme Court said, yep, it's a law now. A law that Joe Biden signed. Even though it's a conservative law, Joe Biden signed it because the U.S. government officials all decided that it's some sort of Chinese spy app when it's pretty obviously just a social media app that's probably not okay, what, it censors you from screaming Tiananmen Square every 6 seconds. If anything, that just stops you from being annoying. But yeah, it got banned for like 12 hours on the effective date which was like right before when Trump got inaugurated, like that Sunday. But then, like, okay. So when it got banned and you open the app, it said, "Oh, unfortunately, due to U.S. laws, the app is closed. Hopefully, President Trump can fix this." It literally said that, and then 12 hours later, it said, "Hey guys, President Trump fixed it. The app is back. Hooray!" It just gave Trump like super mega free PR on the day before he became president. Insane. The CEO of TikTok was also at his inauguration, at least the American side of it. Insane. And then after it got turned back on, you know what it started doing? It started banning various terms, mainly ones involving like anti-Trump stuff and Gaza and Palestine, which is really funny because that was actually some of the initial stuff that Republican lawmakers wanted to get rid of it for, right? There's a really candid clip of Mitt Romney saying, "Oh, well, TikTok's bad because it has all the pro Gaza stuff we can't control, like we do on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter." And it's like, damn, that's crazy. So yeah, TikTok's now compromised. I guess it's not even worth it because you can see alternative ideas that you can't get on like Instagram. It's just slop. Everyone went to that like funny Chinese app, which I've been on a couple times. And it's quite charming. Might not stay there forever though. I mean, I can't read Chinese, and like there is, unless they put out like a really good translation function to the app, which they might because they got a lot of American users now. Eh, might work. It's called Red Note. It's okay. But yeah, no, it's compromised. That's why YouTube's the best. I mean, I put out a couple. Okay, YouTube Shorts. I don't watch them myself. I do put some out. Usually, if I have like a little, like either I take a chunk out of a video to make into a short to like help spread the video out, or if I have like a funny idea for a short, I make that into a short. But for the most part, like I don't watch them. I just watch YouTube videos, and they're fine. It's a much better way of going about your content. I can't imagine using TikTok. And it's all like marketing too. Like they framed the ban as like an attack on small business owners, and like son of a fucking bitch. Drop shipping is not a small business. I don't care. I hate so many genres of TikTok video, dude. I hate the ones where it's like some white woman having a conniption over being unsafe in like her house with her husband gone, so she like puts 9 trillion locks all over her house to prevent people from breaking in, which is like insane and stupid. I hate the videos where like people will like place like 9 trillion objects around like a bathtub or like a sink or like their living room to create their daily or whatever the hell ambiance bullshit, and it's always edited. It is always edited in the worst way humanly possible, where it's is the footage of them like placing a thing, right? But they always cut right before they place it. The second it's on the thing, cut right before they place it, cut right before they place it, cut like that, and it drives my brain crazy. I understand it's designed for like low ADHD babies who can't have an attention span, but Christ's sakes, it's awful. I hate it. Essentially, almost essentially everything women like on TikTok is what I don't like, unfortunately. Maybe that's just my sexism coming through, but like it's for the most part, I mean it's all crap. I mean, I don't like the male stuff either though. I mean, another funny part about TikTok is that like TikTok probably helped Trump win, at least in some part, because there's like a lot of like right wing shit on TikTok too. Like don't get me wrong, Instagram's funny because you go on there and you see people like be super racist with like their names and addresses attached to it, right? But those guys are like 46 years old, so it's whatever. TikTok has like the Zoomer Chud edits with like Little Dark Age and shit, right? And like the sun wheels and shit, right? Like yeah, it's no better, man. It's not. It's interesting ecosystem I'm not part of. Oh yeah, the Oscars. They have the nominees out, and I love award shows. They're trite, they're boring, they're redundant, and they're stupid. But I like the categorizations and the lists and like the little, the little circumstances they put you in thinking about stuff. It's like that. So again, the big movies I guess this year were like The Apprentice, The Brutalist, Conclave, Honora, A Complete Unknown, and fucking Wicked. I'm sorry. Listen, what I'm about to listen. What I'm about to say right now, I have not seen Wicked, so you can get mad at me all you want, right? But I don't have to have seen Wicked to know what it is. And what it is it normie slop. It's normie slop. That's what it is, right? It's just like, okay, it's I mean, I've seen like videos and shots of it and it looks like it's lit like garbage. It's like everything's like CGI. It looks gray and boring, and it's only there because every white woman, sorry, scratch that. Every woman in the United States likes the play Wicked, so making that into a movie is just a way to make infinite money, and it did so. But like, it's not like Best Picture fucking material. I'm sorry, it doesn't look like that. Call this uneducated, sure, it's not, but like, it's doesn't look like Best Picture shit to me. Like here, let me of course put that shit at the fucking bottom. Goddamn Academy Awards, Best Picture, right? Honora, movie about a stripper and classism. The Brutalist, movie about racism and architecture, which is autism. Complete Unknown, stupid biopic, don't care. Conclave, it looks nice. I might watch it. I do like sassy priests. Apparently, there's a lot of sassy priests there. Dune Part 2. Hmm. Now, is Dune Part 2 also normie slop? Yeah, but it's the cool stuff for boys, so I think it should be there. Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez has 13 nominations. Emilia Perez has 13 nominations. Now, I have not seen this movie, but I have seen tons of clips of it. And I have seen the best clip of any musical movie ever made, which was the song where I assume, I mean, it's not Emilia Perez. I've seen the plot summary. It's not Emilia Perez. It's the woman that they hire, right? But like, okay, woman walks in, Zoe Saldana, I think, walks in to like some weird East Asian like hospital clinic, right? And she's walking in and singing, very nice to meet you. I'd like to learn about sex change operation. And the doctor's like, I see, I see, I see. And the doctor says, man to woman or woman to man. And she says, man to woman. And he says, from penis to vagina. That's an actual scene in a movie that's nominated for Best Picture. From everything I've seen about this goddamn movie, is that it's like, it's not only like transphobic, because like the plot involves somebody transitioning to escape the cartel life or some shit. It's not only like pretty transphobic, it's also like Mexicans don't like it either, because like it's okay, it was made by a French guy and it wasn't shot in Mexico, but it's set in Mexico. I'm confused. What? What the? It's made by some French dipshit who decided to make a movie about the cartel life and Mexican culture without talking to a single Mexican person. And every Mexican I know at least doesn't like the goddamn movie because it's like just full of tropes and stereotypes and shit. So, but I guess the Academy fucking loved it because it's in tons of categories. I'm still here, haven't seen it. Nickel Boys don't know what that is. The Substance getting up there is pretty good, actually. I like that. I like that. We need more weird horror movies. Even though it's not really a horror movie, but it's like it's an interesting one. Okay. And then Wicked, which I don't care about, man. Um, stupid shit, stupid shit. Yeah, it's just the Oscars, man. Like, listen, I don't watch like every nominated movie every year. I'm not some old woman. I don't watch all of these, but like, no, no. The answer is just no. I don't like this year. Get Amelia Perez out there. It's gonna. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna. You know what's going to happen. Right? Is that for some horrible reason, for some freakish reason, Emilia Perez is gonna like win Best International Feature Film because it's the only one that has any name recognition there. Even though there's probably ones of much better films on the list, and then it's gonna win Best Picture, even though it shouldn't, and it's gonna suck. And they're gonna be like, "Look, guys, we aren't racist. We have Mexico. It's a big middle finger to Orange Man." Even though the movie is actually French. And then they're gonna act like it's a big thing, like when they had Parasite win Best Picture and International Film. But Parasite is a very good movie, made by a very good filmmaker, Bong Joon-ho. He's gonna have a new movie out this year called Mickey 17. It looks very entertaining. I will 100% be there to watch it when it comes out. In fact, side tangent media review, guys. I did watch Snowpiercer again recently. I haven't seen it in a couple years. It's still a fantastic goddamn movie, Snowpiercer. Oh, lovely, lovely class violence movie, dude. Awesome. You know what? Sometimes you do have to beat the upper classes with hammers to death. You know, sometimes you just gotta do it, just like Chris Evans does, and it's just great. Oh my god, it's so good. Watch that movie. Just watch it. Okay, don't watch the TV show. God damn it. Perfect. Keynote. It's probably the closest thing, and I'm not saying this because the movie's from a Korean guy and the mangaka is a Japanese man, but like it in style. It's the closest thing in style to like a Tatsuki Fujimoto manga in like a live action format, right? Like the direction for it is just like that. The pacing for it is just like that. It's kind of uncanny, I'll say that much. What else happened? Well, there was the Senate hearings over all the candidates for Trump's cabinet, which has not been approved yet. They're voting for it. And some Republicans are opposing some of his picks. The most controversial of which is Pete Hegseth. Now, I have talked about Pete Hegseth before, but I'm going to talk about him again because I hate this man. So, again, he is or was a National Guard 05. That is his military qualifications to be the Secretary of Defense, the second guy in charge of the entire Department of Defense, and therefore the second guy in charge of the strongest military in the entirety of human history. And all he has ever been in charge of was being the XO executive officer for like a battalion. I think. Not a company. Companies have lieutenants. Yeah, a battalion. That is like a couple hundred people. Maybe less than that. All he like okay, I know he's been in combat before or some shit. Because the lowest as far as I'm aware from the army stuff, because I'm not an expert on the army in particular, but like captains and below are like the guys who still get sent out for combat stuff. And he's been deployed twice, which is like okay, cool. He's been in some combat stuff in Iraq and Afghanistan. Nice, whatever. For the most part, he hasn't been that position the entire time, right? He's a National Guard member. Even though he's an officer, a National Guard officer has like 1/10 the job of an actual military officer, right? He wasn't full time. He wasn't full time. He did that and then also did his other business stuff and his school stuff and whatever the hell. Right? Pathetic. even if he was an active duty 05, 05 should be nowhere near anything in charge of the DOD. Not even Secretary of Defense, just anything. No, get them the hell away from that. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They're gonna be scared. Their job is to make sure guys don't show up to muster like trash or something and like write them up. He's the XO. He's not. He wasn't even in charge of the battalion. He wasn't in charge. That's the captain's job. He was the XO. His job was to be the captain's guy when the captain had to go leave. It's he's the vice principal. No, get this fucking guy out of here. He doesn't know what he's gonna be doing. He's just and people are like, "Whoa, it's an outsider perspective." Bitch, the outsider is the president. The insider should be the guy he has to listen to. How do I explain this properly? Okay, so if you're gonna have an outsider president like Donald Trump, who's not familiar with the military, right? Because he's a businessman, he wasn't a politician, he wasn't in any committees, he wasn't a service member, he doesn't know anything about the military, right? He only knows about the military is like TV shows and movies that he's watched. And famously, Donald Trump, when he watches action movies and TV shows, he skips to the fight scenes and doesn't actually watch the whole movie, which is insane. Anyways, so that's what he knows, right? When you have the outsider who brings up all of his crazy ideas, you then have the straight man, the guy who knows the job, who knows what he can and can't do, what X or Y decision would really do to the military, you know, and that guy is like a general or an admiral, right? When Trump got in, he got General Mattis until Mattis pissed him off and then kicked him out. And then Trump had like 5 Secretary of Defenses. So maybe the good part here is even if Hegseth gets put in, which there's going to be a fight because like even Republicans don't like him because he's just blatantly not qualified. Also, his character is very dubious. Where was I? But yeah, even if he got in, he will probably maybe last like a couple months until he pisses Trump off. Trump loves firing people, not, like people he says he's gonna fire, just people who are in his way when he wants things done. Because Trump is still stupid. So yeah, Pete Hegseth. God, what a loser. Those Senate confirmation hearings were dumb. It's all dumb. Make it stop. Make it stop! What else here? What else happened in the good US of A? It snowed. It snowed everywhere. That's cool. There are those fires. Those are not cool in Los Angeles. That's bad. A lot of houses burnt down. Basically, yeah, that's it. That's it, everybody. Anyways, see you next time. Bye!